nothing left for me to hate, so I can lay me down. My brothers on the ground, I bled today until Coyote comes to raise me up and carries me
Sorry for that auspicious start there, boys and girls. Welcome to the Scottish Rugby Podcast. It's myself, John Anderson, hosting tonight, joined by none other than Cammy, you're in the guest seat tonight.
I'm in the guest seat tonight, that's right, John. I'm broadcasting. There's no more festive place to broadcast than your wife's childhood bedroom while you're away for Christmas. It's the most festive of all places.
There's something about possible Patreon content there, Cam, but
I had to move all the underwear off the bed before we started.
Reasonably so.
I shouldn't have left it there the last time.
Shots fired. Jeez. I was just saying to Cam as well how misbehaved you guys were last week. So
I will say.
What's that,
One
Johnny?
of us was misbehaving last week.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny.
I will say, John, I have been told that I'm funnier on other people's podcasts when I'm not hosting.
Well,
it's the stress of managing you lot.
Right. Well, reasonably so. I mean, there's plenty of jokes about having had hair before starting to host, but yeah. So no doubt you've noticed, Johnny and Craig, the terrible twosome, are with us as well. Good evening, gents.
Hello.
Evening.
Craig, that hat is magnificent. You look wonderful.
Positively festive, mate. I'm off on holiday. I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, just for those maybe listening back on audio, Craig is wearing. Is it an elf hat?
It's an elf hat. It's actually it's a fantastic little. It's meant to be a hairband, but obviously I've got no hair, so it's a skull band.
A skull band.
I like the fact you mentioned no mention of my hat. It's fine.
Oh, we're coming to it, Cam.
I maybe shouldn't have gotten the effort.
Well, I mean.
So tonight's going to be one of those nights then.
So you can see who's going to be difficult. Yeah. So it's for those on audio only. Cammy is wearing a red and white traditional Santa Claus hat. That doesn't seem to have a bell, but give us a wee shake, Cam.
It's got a bubble on the back.
It's got a wee bubble. It's not got a bell though. Craig's got a bell.
Well, not unless I'm going to razz it up. Hang on.
Oh. All right. Okay. No, that's fine.
I can't believe you've brought the big guns out early.
Yes, Cam has just stripped off his Santa hat to reveal. Is it a Christmas pudding with a little bell?
It is indeed.
There's elf ears there as well. Look at that.
Oh yeah, so there is. Yeah. That's a standard Tuesday for Cam, but there it is. You and Alan will hit the Dungeons and Dragons together. Oh, and there's Alan, just on cue. As long as you've got your elf hats the main thing. Oh, that's a terrible joke, Alan. I am disgusted in that. But that leads us in beautifully because tonight is our Christmas special. We are here to have a good laugh, have a bit of fun. We've got a quiz. We've got some naughty and nice, but first of all, we should, because obviously rugby does not consider waiting for us just to have a bit of fun at Christmas. They decide to throw hundreds of news at us this week, probably just getting out the road before everybody takes their holidays. Where should we start? Let's start with Sam Skinner confirmed, Craig.
Yes, he has been.
Yes. Are you very excited about this?
Well, the problem I have is that being a resident Edinburgh fan and forward fan, have been quoted on this podcast of not rating Sam Skinner that much, and now I have to look. Now I have to be all happy-go-lucky about. Ooh, we've signed Sam Skinner. To be brutally honest, and I'm sorry to say this because I liked him a great deal, but Sam Skinner is what I would say a better replacement for Ben Toulis, the outgoing Ben Toulis. Unfortunately, the main thing is that Ben he's been dealing with a few injury issues, and he's hopefully going to get some game time in Japan and get a good reward for his years of service. But Sam Skinner, Scotland international, can play both back row and second row. So and he comes from the mighty Exeter. So should be interesting.
I'm sure we will mention the mighty Exeter in passing in due course. I think that might be for our Patreon only people, though. They'll get the pleasure of that. I love the segue, though, Craig, because speaking of playing in Japan, everyone's favourite 5'0" centre, Nick Grigg, is off to play in Japan as well. He'll be leaving Glasgow at the end of the month to go and top up his bank balance, which, I mean... it's been coming, Johnny, but not a great loss, really.
Yeah, fair play to him. He deserves it. He is quite far down the pecking order of centres at Glasgow now, and even further in Scotland. So it's not like he's got a massive amount to be hanging about here for. If he's going to get the money in Japan that you get for playing in Japan, then he did some great things for Scotland and for Glasgow. He served his time. He was a great servant to the club and the country, and fair play to him.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And Cammy, you couldn't give a hoot about either clubs, really.
No, the Sam. No, I don't really care. No, I think the Sam Skinner signing, I think, is an excellent signing. I think the thing is, though, the SRU is spending a lot of money. Now, admittedly, with Pete Horn going and a lot of these players going, there's money being freed up, but Sam Skinner is not going to have come cheap.
No.
And that deal will have been done and signed pre-Omicron and pre us finding out that probably we're not going to have any crowds for the Six Nations. So I do worry a little bit that there might be a little bit of overreach here. Yeah. That the budget, they're working on budgets that allow for a couple of big money signings to replace the guys that have gone. But I think there's going to be a period of belt tightening around the corner, and it's slightly worrying.
Yeah,
sorry, John.
Oh no, I was just going. I think that's absolutely fair. I was wondering actually prior to Omicron, because there was a lot of chat about, obviously both clubs managing to keep quite high-profile players at the club, great bits of business, and I was wondering if the impact of the URC and not having those international crossovers, if that was, a reduction in the squad, maybe both teams tend to work around 45, 46 players, and maybe a wee reduction in that would free up some cash. But yeah, our good friend Omicron, I believe, is the Greek pronunciation because it's based on that. So,
you've got to pronounce it like Transformer, John. It's Omicron. You can't be getting into this Greek nonsense. Leave that to the Public School Boys podcast. It's Omicron like a Transformer. Right?
I know. Yeah, that's it. I know. I've shown myself up there. I need to sort that out. So,
knows he's Greek.
Maybe that's why Hoggy has put the announcement out he put out today on Instagram that he's realised that there's going to be no money for him.
Yeah. I'll come to you, Cam, on that first. What a strange thing to say.
So there was another podcast. I'm not going to mention it because it's a terrible podcast, and people who know that podcast, well, it's not yeah. Anyway, they said they'd heard that Hogg might be moving. The only other place I can see it's been reported is our account and Ruck, right? So those are the only places that said that Hogg might move in somewhere else. That has somehow prompted Stuart Hogg to release a statement saying, I'm committed to Exeter, my family are settled in the area, and I'm committed to seeing out my contract. Now, on the face of it, that's a pretty strong denial. You think, fair enough. He's committed to Exeter. He's seen out his contract. Until you look and realise his contract runs out in the summer, right? So it's not really that much of a commitment if his contract runs out in the summer of 2022. Saying I'll be with Exeter till the end of the season. That's essentially what he's saying. Now, the reason I think Sam Skinner's left and Rob Bax has talked about this is, the salary cap is being lowered, I think, in the English Premiership.
That's right, yeah.
Which is going to make it harder for teams like Exeter, who've got, they've got lots of England internationals, they've got a couple of other internationals. They're going to be struggling, and Hogg is not going to come cheap for them. So Skinner going's going to free up a bit of money. Whether or not Hogg stays, I don't know whether he'll have a choice, to be honest, because Exeter will presume, he's a world-class fullback, but he'll have his suitors in France. He'll have his suitors in, and there's even rumours that he may be coming back to Scotland. It's just, I suppose it depends on, one, can Exeter afford him? Will he, can he afford to take a pay cut? Do you know how much, what other challenges is he open to? So I don't think that denial today necessarily tells the full story.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And the salary cap reductions, it's not just in terms of money. There's also reductions in terms of the number of marquee players that can be counted out with the salary cap. So that's coming down from 2 to 1. So that, and you would imagine Stuart Hogg will be one of those marquee players at Exeter at the moment. So interesting times ahead. Johnny, can we dream to see the beautifully coiffured Stuart Hogg back in Glasgow with the right colour shirt on?
I think we can dream. I don't know how realistic a dream it would be. And Cammy's quite right. I would imagine that France is probably the place he's most likely to end up. They're cutting their salary cap as well, the top 14.
Yep.
But I think they've probably still got more available money than the SRU do, certainly for the sort of money that Hoggy would be asking for.
Do we want Hoggy back? I don't mean that in a harsh way, right? But given the talent that's come through now, you've got the likes of Rufus McLean, we've got Biff Elliott. And I know he's not Scottish talent, but he's going to be cheaper than Stuart Hogg. It's actually, I don't necessarily. I think Stuart Hogg coming back into either Scotland or Glasgow or Edinburgh would cause more problems than it's going to solve, because there's plenty of other players that have filled that hole.
No,
I think as well that going to a more competitive league surrounded by better players has done wonders for the Scottish players that have got to do it.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Gray's a great example, who has got so much better because he was asked to do so much in Glasgow that he couldn't really develop his own game because he was so busy carrying most of the forwards on his back a lot of the time. So for Hoggy to come back to Glasgow, he's going to put himself back in that position where he feels he's got to carry our back line. And like, to be honest, I don't think he does, but he's going to feel like that anyway. And then I would be worried about seeing his game start to regress a bit. I'd maybe prefer he stayed in a more competitive league with more big name players around him so he could work on developing his game.
Look, Scottish lads love playing away from home. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. We have no evidence of this, Cam. We need to refute those
I didn't
statements.
say anything, John. I just said, you look at the players that have gone overseas, away from home, and how well they play.
You are a bad person. Right. Speaking of overseas people that have actually stayed in Scotland for 30 years, Sean Lenin has come out and said yes.
That's quite the news. That's not the news. That's
not the news I've heard.
John's
sorry,
John. Sean.
For goodness sake, what is Sean Lenin is no longer going to be part of Scottish rugby.
I mean, that's how. I mean, I didn't think they kick him out for that.
He quoted Clint Eastwood in his exit statement, which is pretty good. A great servant to Scottish rugby, quoted as being the original kilted Kiwi, which is a term I absolutely despise, but here we are. has a very, very illustrious career within Scottish rugby. Obviously, we think very fondly over him this side of the M8, but has done lots of great things across a multitude of different roles in Scottish rugby. So, Cammy, a big loss, actually.
It's a massive loss for Scottish rugby. You think he's been involved. I think he's pretty much been involved in every single facet of professional and youth rugby in Scotland over the past couple of decades. And I think it's undeniable the work he's done. I mean, to a certain extent, you could say that, Gregor Townsend inherited a very good squad at Glasgow. I mean, he was the guy that installed the whatever it takes. And, that's still there now. That's still the hashtag that comes with Glasgow Warriors. You look at the work he's done with the under-20s. You look even at the work he talked today about the work he'd done with London Scottish as well. He's done whatever has been asked of him, and to the point where he was in charge of the foreign recruitment and the Exiles program. And you look at Sam Skinner has come through the Exiles program with Scotland. So, I mean, you could probably look at that Scotland squad right now, the current Scotland squad, and you'd be hard pressed to find a player, including the South Africans that have qualified, that Sean Lenin has not had some input or influence in bringing them in to the Scotland setup and bringing them through to be a Scotland international. And that's there's not many people within the setup that you could say that.
Yeah, it's some legacy to leave behind. And
he was also heavily involved in coach development as well with all the clubs. I've been in a few seminar rooms with him, and on coach development, and he was instrumental in the new Scotland blueprint as well. So for not only the club teams but also all the way through the age grades. So I think whether it's in your face or whether it's in the background, he has been incredibly. He has been an incredible servant for us, and he's been incredibly involved in how Scotland has developed as a rugby nation.
I think the one thing that jumps out from the statement that was released, though, Johnny, is that this has come on the back of a review by Jim Mallender. So is there a suggestion? Obviously, reviews, restructuring, things like that tend to be delicately done by the SRU. But is there a suggestion maybe that Sean Lenin's now been seen to be surplus to requirements and actually it's maybe not been his choice?
Yeah, I think that was sort of like danced around, and I really hope that that's not the case, to be honest, for all the reasons that we've just talked about. I don't think it's not like he plateaued or anything. I think he probably still had more he could do. But then again, at the same time, when you've been here as long as Sean has and done all the stuff that he did, I don't blame him for saying, actually, fine, I've done loads, and I'll take your findings on board, and actually it's fine, I'll go and do something else. But yeah, I would like it to not be the case, but there certainly seemed to be more than a slight suggestion.
It didn't. I mean, it's a bit like the Hoggy thing today, isn't it? With the statement of like, I'm going to say there's no rumours and no truth in rumours that I'm trying to get a move away from Exeter. Whereas the SRU press release opens up with Sean Lenin has left, but it's got nothing to do with the review, and it's all amicable. It's like, well, why did you even need to mention that? No, none of us would have thought that if you just said Sean Lenin's decided to leave. You would have thought, fair enough, the guy's 60, he's done. He's probably come to the end of the line what he can do in Scottish rugby because he's done everything, bar being kind of like the managing director. He's done literally every job in Scottish rugby. It would have been fair enough to see him walking. Why they had to mention that it was amicable? It's probably a little bit of oversharing. I think it does. I don't doubt that it is amicable, but it seemed unnecessary to put that in the press release.
It didn't need to be amicable. It could have just been left as it was. Everyone was fine. Too much information. SRU yet again, which is not like them. I get quite frustrated actually at times because they don't ever seem to get that middle ground where they just tell us what is enough. They either go too much, too little. There's never that Goldilocks moment. So That's our feedback to you, SRU.
Whatever
fix
happened to the SRU's in-house rugby journalist that they had? Remember that guy that would write and tell you everything was fine?
Did
He
he
used to
not
write match reports. And then did he not write something during the World Cup when we were all everyone was slagging Scotland off, and he wrote a report on the Ireland match telling us everything was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the backdrop to them writing was, the Flames gif and all that sort of stuff. I thought they'd got kind of phased out after like one or two articles.
They had, but the guy must be on a retainer.
Well, funnily enough, Ian Hayes not here.
Yeah.
Is Ian the secret SRU journalist?
He isn't here to answer any questions.
Have you seen the fan writer Ian Hay in the same room? I bet you haven't. So, yeah. Well, you heard it here first. Ian's now going to have to appear at some point to
defend his honour.
Regain some of his reputation. But
they were advertising recently for somebody to run their Twitter accounts, and I thought the only reason I can't apply is because I'd just be like sending the English Rugby tweets saying "get it right up here" all the time.
that and being banned by half of English Rugby, Cammy. So. I mean, that does suggest it. Obviously, if you are looking for a laugh on Twitter and you're not familiar with Cammy's works, please head over to at Scott Rugby Pod. You'll get a good laugh out of some of the stuff.
My personal favourite was the very heartfelt interview that they published with Sia Khaleesi on the Internationals page that Cammy just retweeted with a caption that said, "We're going to deep fry your biltong."
Yep.
That's our boy. So let's do the last wee bit of news, which is obviously a bit less jolly. We'll get the sad bit out of the way. Obviously, you might have noticed, but there's some stuff going on out in the world out there just now, and obviously, sport has again found itself under restrictions. The 1872 festive fixtures were to become restricted to only 500 supporters. Both clubs have said, rather than that, let's just do none at all, which is fairly sensible, I think, given the logistics of trying to organise whatever they would have to organise. I mean, Craig was obviously getting a ticket, but...
that was going to be... They've actually saved their blushes for me having to say, do you know who I am?
Mate, of course...
Where am I?
Of course you know
look at this like I've got from Buffelli.
The thing is, it was. I think one of my favourites was. I saw something on Twitter the other couple. It must be yesterday when it was yesterday when they cancelled it, wasn't it? And there was one of them saying, one person was saying, I understand that there are 500 supporters to be going. I have a platinum ticket. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Do you think there's only 25 of you? Just because you got a platinum ticket, you get
platinum ticket.
Yeah, it was like, do you think you've got a platinum ticket? Awesome, that's good for you. I'm a season ticket holder, and I've got a whole cult following me about Edinburgh, and you've got and you think you can get in before me.
I just want some praise just now for the way I restrained myself completely from making any jokes regarding 25 fans at Edinburgh Rugby. I'm growing as a person. I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah, okay, no comment. We'll save that for later.
Is platinum membership like the black card you get for Nando's?
You get a free burger and chips out the back.
Free burger and chips and a pair of red trousers.
Absolutely, and some clicky brogues. Hang on a minute, the platinum ticket could have been a Glasgow member as well.
You see, for Glasgow that just means that nobody puts your windows out in the car park.
You get your own wee boy that comes in and says, "I'll look after your car, mister."
That's it, and he does it. Platinum members, he actually does it.
He does it, yeah.
Gold members, he just tells you he does it.
He says he's done it. He takes your wheels and off he goes, steals them, and then he sells them platinum. He keeps them and puts them back on. So Honestly, you guys are terrible besmirching the good name of Glasgow. So back to
It's
the
called
point.
balance, John. It's called balance.
I think
balance.
I was being extremely well balanced and not suggesting anything about. So I believe the match now has been moved. I'm seeing in the comments it's been moved to the Dam Health stadium because there's no point in it being in the Big Hoosh really. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Glasgow get a run out there. Might end up being a quiz question at some point in the future. Not tonight, obviously, because obviously.
Is that how many times Edinburgh beaten Glasgow in the 1872 Cup?
I think it'll be.
Who are the holders that have held it for the longest?
I was going to go with the what was the only time Glasgow played Edinburgh at the Dam Health Stadium before it was turned into a gazebo and sold at Dobbies.
Turned into a gazebo.
Yeah, obviously it's not a gazebo at the moment. Then that's great. I'll take that.
I would beg to differ with that.
But yes, we were all very excited about obviously seeing some live rugby over the festive period. But I think we'll maybe touch on it in Hands of the Ruck later on as well. But I think a degree of pragmatism and possibly just a little bit of realism has taken over, and people are understanding the situation is quite serious, very serious. We can't really be having, you saw the cup final of the football the other day, 50-odd thousand fans travelling, and it's just not going to work. So a smart decision, I think. And we will hope and pray and keep our fingers crossed that things have started to improve enough to see some supporters for the Six Nations. Because as you rightly say, Cam, if we don't, budgets might be a bit of a mess.
We should also just say as part of news. So those of you who are long-term listeners will know that we were planning to do some live podcasts over the Six Nations for the same reason that the 1872 is not going ahead. The first three live pods are now cancelled. So if you've bought tickets for them, you'll be getting contacted by the organisers and you'll be getting a refund. The one on the 19th of March, which is the final day of the Six Nations, which is the one with the 3 games, at the moment that one's still going ahead. So you can still buy tickets for that. So if you bought tickets for any of the others, you will be getting contacted about a refund through Eventbrite. But we're still hoping we'll get one under the belt before the end of the Six Nations, all being well.
I mean, in some ways, Cammy, it works out quite well for us. The four opportunities to do live pods. So much.
Can you imagine getting cancelled 4 times, Chris?
Yeah, let's be honest. We were only getting to do one, so at least this way we're getting to do the last one.
I know, that's it. Just we're going to do it on a rota basis now. You're just going to get all of us turning up. Anarchy.
I'll be on the door.
No, it's it'll be good fun if that does get the opportunity to go ahead. Obviously, we would love to see as many people along as possible to come and heckle, do what you do, send your wee comments in that we then choose to ignore, but then you're doing it in person, so we can't ignore it. We'll be drinking our dark fruit cider. We'll be ready to go.
Will we?
Right,
Will
we,
John?
Yeah, Cammy, look, you need to get right. You pair are Grinches over there. You need to get in on this dark fruit nonsense.
Hang on. If we're Grinches, why are we the ones wearing the hats?
Because you're not drinking dark fruit cider. Santa clearly drinks dark fruit cider. That is his tipple of choice. All this nonsense about whiskey and milk and all that. He doesn't drink milk.
Just look, John, just because an elderly man has a long white beard does not make him a tramp, right? It's your own prejudice. Tramps and underage drinkers, those are the only people who should drink Strongbow dark fruits, not professional athletes.
Based on minimum pricing, this costs the same as something good. So I'm gonna enjoy this.
Exactly, right? This is the thing, right? Why, with minimum pricing in Scotland, would you drink Strongbow dark fruits? Why would you choose to do that to yourself?
I'm just disappointed they don't serve it in 2-litre bottles.
I think they do.
I was going to say, I think they do.
Holy crap! Okay, obviously not in my area of the.
Just drink some frosty Dracs and be done with it.
Oh,
Why don't you just have? Why don't you just go for like? Sorry, I just Tennant's super strength with black currant in it. That was
that's excellent.
That's all it is, really.
Yeah,
That's my youth.
Maybe
it's
we could
not,
do that.
It's about 3.5%.
Yeah, it's actually
exactly.
It's basically juice.
It's just juice.
I will stand by the dark fruits. I will defend it with my honour, which is clearly lacking.
If I can find somewhere that near me that sells it in single cans because I refuse to buy a 4-pack, then I promise I will try it on the podcast.
Try Spar.
Yep.
I've
I've got any Spars near me. I want to try. I will try.
Not, I can always bring you a Scottish package down next time I'm down in the area.
Yeah,
and drop off some Iron Brew, a couple of handbars, and
tatty scones.
Tatty scones.
Look, I went to the dodgiest. This is a bad dog fruit. I went to the dodgiest area. My dentist in one of the dodgiest areas of Leeds, right? And I went to a couple of off license near my dentist, right? And this is where like they've got street drinkers like on every corner, and they didn't sell it by the can. Right, that's how bad it is. Can't even sell it. Even sell it to street drinkers.
That's really frustrating as well because Leeds United used to be sponsored by by Strongbow, so they would think there was a wee bit of respect there, a wee bit of honour, but no, apparently lacking.
No. Moved on. Buckets now. That's where it is now. That's all Leeds buckets.
Get on the hooch, just like Ian at the Trafford Centre. Get on the hooch. Be sorted. So awful stuff. Right. Enough of this nonsense. Shall we have some fun?
Yay!
I have.
Was that not fun?
No. He's making me feel all funny inside. It was not fun. Might be the dark fruits as well, though. But right, I think we should start with a little festive quiz. It's more. I've got 10 questions for you, right? And I was going to put you in teams, but obviously Ian has just decided to patch us. Because he's obviously got that gig at the SRU now where he writes that fan piece. So,
yeah, he's busy writing about how no fans is actually better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because nobody can chant anything. So yeah, it's ideal.
Did for Scottish rugby.
Right. Okie dokie. So I'm going to just bring that up there so I can see that. Kind of, maybe. No, not really. Right. We're going to go through these questions. These are mostly, we're going to go with closest gets the point, okay? I'm going to get a wee bit. No.
Is this the same as, I was going, good. Is this the same as my questions last year about how many purple Quality Street Greg Laidlaw's allowed to eat?
Aye, that was my favourite question ever. I loved that.
Yeah. There's a couple of Quality Street questions. No, so question one. So these are all most where they are not based on 2021 in its entirety, I will tell you. But for this question one, how many points did Glasgow score in 2021?
So you mean from like January, like the Rainbow Cup through to now? For 2021, yes.
Check out McGinty. He's put us on mute so he can tap away.
Oh, look, he's looking at his eyes moving.
You can see him. He's got
an
open box.
There is not an answer to this online because I had to add them up manually. So I can assure you. Right, Johnny, which
if you really want to call me out, Mr. Manson, I was actually doing a big dark fruit spurt, and that's why I muted you. So I was trying to be nice.
I subscribe to that. To be clear, I have Glasgow having played 23 fixtures in 2021, and Edinburgh have played 22. This includes.
So we're not.
We're not talking friendlies.
Okay.
URC
370 points.
370 for Johnny. Any advance or decline on 370, Cammy?
Am I having to like gaze in my crystal ball because we've still got a couple of games to play?
We're doing this as of today. None of your
right.
crap. It's as of now. at time of
I'm no
recording.
hosting and the sass comes out.
At time of recording, at this point, dated in time now.
416.
416 for Cammy.
How many games have they had?
23 matches.
23 matches.
I should be clear, if this is totally inaccurate, I did count it up with my fingers and toes, so tough.
I'm going to go with 293.
293.
Oh, that's low.
Okay.
It's actually Rob Harley's penalties are probably higher.
Right, and for question 2, I'll get you thinking just now. The same question, but for Edinburgh. They've played 22 matches in 2021. 12. Johnny says 12.
I didn't know.
Seriously?
Hang on.
You can't answer. I'm
Your
taking
first
that answer.
Johnny. First answer.
Monsters.
You can't let the sass get to you too much.
What's your thinking? They played one fixture less, Craig, and most of it was under El Cockerel.
I
What's your thoughts?
reckon it's 312.
You think they've scored more points than Glasgow?
Oh,
with
aye.
one fixture less, and you were managed by a numpty.
Aye, absolutely.
I mean, all right. That's
Well,
bold.
you played Nick Drigg at centre for quite a long time.
I like this new talk back Carol Voderman. She's my favourite.
She's no sexy away.
I don't know. I've had a couple of beers. I will.
Have you had some dark fruits?
It's Moobsy's hiding under that jumper.
I mean, it is, but come on.
I will go 373.
373, just above Glasgow. Okay, Cam. Johnny?
No, I said 416 for Glasgow, didn't
Oh,
I?
you said 416. Yep, got you.
But you say 22 games?
22 games, yep.
285.
285. Okie dokie. So after the first round, Cammy has won both points by being the closest. So Cammy on 2. Right, so the actual figures are Glasgow have scored. 2 seconds. Glasgow scored 518 points in 2021, and Edinburgh scored 470.
Excellent.
Okay, right. So, question 3. This season in the United Rugby Fighting JZ Championship, how many metres cumulatively? It's easy for me to say. How many metres have both Glasgow and Edinburgh combined got?
Combined.
Oh, Jack Dempsey's got about half of Glasgow's, isn't he?
Do we have to talk about him again?
Yes.
That's my
Jesus.
that's my Whamageddon. That's my Whamageddon for the rest of the.
I promise you, I've got a beautiful Jack Dempsey stat for you coming up during this quiz, but you'll be fine. Right, ballpark figure.
Oh, Jesus, that's really
2,200.
3,497.
Ballpark 3,497.
Any advance in that? Think how many meters does a team make in a game? How many games have they played? Times it by 2.
4,212.
Okay, so
You guys think that Glasgow and Edinburgh are doing a lot more running than I do?
Yeah. So Craig
apparently Dempsey's made over 10,000 in just 2 games because
he has, and because Matt Fagerson's so small, his minus meters get taken off it.
That's what it is.
So yeah, so actually, Craig gets the point there. Cumulatively, they've made 5,268.
Oh, hang on, no.
Hang on, doesn't that mean that Cammy was closer then?
What did you say?
I said 4,000.
4,397 or something.
I was higher than Craig.
You said 3,497.
Yeah, he did.
I've written it
Did
down.
he?
3,497.
4. Oh.
I thought
I said 4. I don't mind. Wait, it's not
What?
like this is. It's not like this is this is being recorded, so we can't go back and check.
Exactly,
If anyone
right?
heard my answer, because I can't even remember. If anyone heard my answer and wants to get involved in the comments, please do.
And if
Justice
anyone
for
wants, if anyone wants to,
Cammy.
if anybody wants to adjust the editing of this, I'm really sorry. Well done, Cammy. That's great.
So okay, question 4. Between
I need to
Glasgow
write down
and
my answer here. I'm going to write down my answer.
Between Glasgow and you put it in a thing for me. Yeah,
I've got
thanks.
my note.
Aye, good. Between Glasgow and Edinburgh, which players are the top try scorers in the URC this season?
Between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
What do you mean between?
So as in Glasgow or Edinburgh?
Gavin Brockle says I've got 4K from Cammy. Oh, he called me Campy. Never mind. Just call me Campy. Let's move on.
We'll review that, Cammy. As in Glasgow squad, Edinburgh squad, both playing fixtures.
Darcy
which
Graham.
players are the top scorers?
For both teams. Both teams.
As in just overall, there is.
Oh, I said who scored more?
There is. Yes, there is. Darcy Graham is one of them, Cammy. Well done. you can have a point. There is one more player who's got the same amount of tries as Darcy Graham. Could be
Rufus
Glasgow,
McLean.
could be Edinburgh. No, Johnny. Craig, you get a guess.
Say Jack Dempsey, I dare you.
No, but I think who was it going to be?
Right.
See, I was going to go down the route of a hooker, so I was thinking down the route of George Turner.
No, Cammy, you get another shot.
Shut down.
I'm pacing this up because I think I might have got Cammy's thing wrong.
It's got to be Doohan, actually. It's because he's no
No, it can't be Doohan.
What, the URC?
URC.
Oh, is it not? Is it not
URC.
2021?
Didn't say
No, I said URC. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with another Edinburgh player. I'm going to go with Buffelli.
No. Right, Johnny, you can have a guess. You've got 5 seconds. Go. 5.
Johnny Matthews.
No. Craig, last guess. Go. You've got 5.
Last guess, Steen.
No, absolutely not. So it's Ben Vellicott.
There we go.
Ben Vellicott's got 4 tries for Edinburgh in the URC this season.
I'm thinking about URC this season. Oh, forget
No,
me.
that's actually.
It's this season. It's only the start.
There's only been this season.
I know. I just wasn't listening to John properly.
That was actually the question. Sake. Right. Okay. Right. Moving swiftly on to my next question. Okay. So Stuart Hogg broke the record for the number of tries scored for Scotland this season. Who has he scored the most tries against? And again, there
Italy.
is two answers. Cammy straight in with Italy. Well done. Is one. Yep. There is 2 answers here, so there's another point available. Johnny?
Wales.
Nope. Craig?
In the Six Nations, or just wherever.
Well, where have Stuart Hogg's tries counted? How many? Stuart Hogg has lots of tries, and who's he scored most of them against?
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
It's the power gone to his head.
Georgia.
No. Right,
Me again,
Cammy,
then.
You
Right.
can have another shot.
I'm going to. Part of me's tempted to say it's the Six Nations team because he plays. Obviously, he's going to play against them most. But then there's another part
That's
of me
why
that's
I
nagging
thought
about
Wales.
saying it's a Pacific Island. So I'm between a Pacific Island team. I think he's got that many. I'm going to say France.
Cammy nails it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Cammy is streaking this quiz. So he scored 4 tries against both France and Italy. Next up. he's got-
Ooh, that's interesting. I thought he would have scored more against Italy.
Yeah, so did I. But I went back through the list quite a few times.
Didn't he score a hat trick in one game? So he's only managed 1 try outside the hat trick.
He scored a double.
That's rubbish.
I know.
Do
So,
better, Stuart.
honestly. Right. Sticking with the topic. So far the scores at the moment, as we are halfway through the quiz, scores, Cammy has scored 5. Craig has scored 1.
A dubious one.
Cammy's potentially even scored 6, actually.
I know.
But,
I don't care
and
anymore.
Johnny hasn't scored.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Time,
Story of my
Johnny. Time. Sorry, mate, you've got the dark fruit. You're fine. Right, okay. 2 points on offer. Question 6. Points, Scotland points for and against 2021. Okay, I'll
For
come
and
to you.
against.
Yeah.
Is this 2021 across all tests,
2021 Scotland tests,
including
Every
Six Nations
Six Nations,
and
Autumn
Autumn?
Internationals. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
For and against.
Scotland points for and against. So I'll let Craig, you go first because I've not come at you first yet.
So for and against.
For and against, yep. How many points
reckon-
for? How many points against?
453 for, 493 against.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't think it's anywhere near as much as that.
No, it's nothing like that.
I think 245 for.
Yep.
I think 270 against. No, less than that. No, less than that. 215 against.
215 against. Okay, Cammy.
I'm going to do some maths. I'm not Googling.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Students
I'm
phone.
going to say 194.
Yep.
140 against.
140 against.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right. So I'm delighted to tell you, Johnny has got a point.
Yay!
Cammy has got the other point, though.
Mother of God.
So, Johnny, you weren't far off. So, Scotland scored 258 points in 2021. So you were 13 off, which is very impressive. They conceded 167. So, Cammy
I hate
140.
Quizzes are rubbish.
So Cammy is on 6. Johnny has got a point now. It's kind of down for second place here, guys. I think really it is the battle of the whole.
Honestly, I thought I'd do absolutely rubbish at this.
You're guessing very, very well. Okay, which player? Right. So this is question 7. Which player has the highest number of meters gained for either Glasgow or Edinburgh in the URC this season? And bonus point if you can tell me how many meters. Johnny's got his hand up. Go, Johnny.
It's going to be Jack Dempsey, isn't it, just to annoy Craig?
Cammy?
Ben Velicott.
Ben Velicott, okay. Craig?
I'm going to take Darcy. No, actually, no. Let me take that back. Boffelli.
No, none of you's got that right. It is Rufus McLean. Anybody care to take a stab how many meters he's gained?
12.
How many meters, not how old is he?
So Craig's -1 now. For his nonsense.
1,133.
That would be insane, given that Glasgow.
I don't know.
Yeah,
2,500.
I reckon it's about 356 or something.
I reckon maybe a bit lower than that, 297.
Craig, you've done very well. It was 375. So I'll take your.
I got a point.
Aye,
whoa, minus points. That's 2 points I've got. One dubious point and one absolutely legend point.
I mean, that's a very dubious point as well, given your nonsense. Oh, you got 12 meters. Ooh. Right, okay, boys and girls, have you got pen and paper in front of you?
No.
Oh my God!
I've got a phone in front of me.
Right in.
Phone in front of you is fine, right?
I wasn't told I have to write stuff.
I've just thrown the drawer.
I mean, you could do this in your head if you want, but I think
Got my Warriors pen.
Right,
Yeah.
you've got your
I've
Warriors
got my
pen.
notes.
You might want to take a note.
My drawers just exploded.
I didn't think it was that exciting.
Right.
Bravo.
I am looking for
My drawers have just exploded.
Right. I am looking for a number. Okay. So this is looking at
7. Oh, sorry, like a specific number. Okay, sorry.
I'm looking for a number after this. So what I'm wanting you to do is take the number of Scottish Lions, multiply it by the number of tries Duhan van der Merwe scored for Scotland in 2021.
Oh, Christ.
I take that back. I want you to multiply that by the number of international tries Duhan van der Merwe has scored in 2021.
So that's including the Lions tries.
So Scotland tries and Lions tries. Yep.
Oh, right, okay.
And then I want you to add on, once you've got that number, I would like you to add on the number of international caps Finn Russell has, including his Lions caps and Baba's cap.
Oh, God.
Now, there's a deliberate reason for that because it makes the sum easier. So don't, oh God me. Right, so number of Scots Lions, how many have we got there?
I've got a nice shot. I've just got the total. I've done it on my calculator on my phone, so I've got the total number.
Right. What was the last bit we had to? Was it added on Finn's caps?
Add on Finn's caps.
I've got a round number, so I think I'm right.
Go closest to the prize. Okay.
Do you want me to tell me my final? Can I tell you my final answer? Because I can't work out how I got here.
Yeah, Johnny and Craig, have you got a final answer for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, Cammy, you go first.
140.
Right. Okay. Johnny.
175.
175. I think you might have Finn Russell having way too many caps.
I've got 100.
100. Okay. So.
How do you know I don't have Duhan scored way too many tries?
Unsurprisingly, Cammy gets the point. The answer is actually 148. So if you walk through it, so you've got eight British and Irish Lions. Duhan scored 11 tries. So what we're counting there is his 6 tries for Scotland plus his 5 for the Lions. And Finn Russell has 58 Scotland caps. He had officially 1 test cap for the Lions and 1 for the Babas, so 60. So that comes in at 148.
How I managed to miss that is unbelievable because I was quite close, but my mathematics has just been ridiculous.
Right. Okie dokie. Couple more questions.
I should have used a calculator.
You should have actually. Couple more questions. Okay, who is the record try scorer between Glasgow and Edinburgh? So who has the most tries for each side, and who has more? Who is that single person who is top of the tree?
From who? From
Glasgow
all
and
the years
Edinburgh.
gone by.
All the years gone by.
Oh. Tommy Seymour.
Okay, Cammy saying Tommy Seymour. Do you think Dartfoot Staines?
DTH
Yes.
Van der Merwe.
DTH. Craig.
I would go the Vischer. Tim Vischer.
Tim Vischer.
Is I'm sure he's getting close to the Edinburgh, or he has been, but I think actually DTH Van der Merwe is actually the leading try scorer of them both.
Point goes to Craig, because
Oh.
Tim Visser actually has 60 tries
Ooh.
versus DTH, which I think was 57. So,
Wow.
yeah, but you're absolutely right. DTH is the record try scorer for Glasgow, but Tim Visser has 60 for Edinburgh.
Yes, Tim Vischer is fantastic.
And I mean, I was going to put a question about tackle completion rate, which would have been 6, but we avoided that.
Well, we all know that Johnny Gray would probably come out with that one as best tackler.
Yeah. I mean, like Visser completed 6% of his tackles. You know, like just right. Last question, boys and girls. You are doing so well.
Does that mean on 9 points then?
No, you're not on 9 points. You are
okay.
on like 3
I got
points.
both the Glasgow and the Edinburgh ones correct to that last one.
Johnny, yeah, I know, but Johnny had already said DTH, and I wasn't giving you a point for each. I was saying the record. So you got the point. Back in your box, okay? Right, final question. Johnny, this is your opportunity to draw level with Craig. Cammy, you have won the quiz. Congratulations, son. But this is your opportunity,
Rugby
Johnny.
knows.
Right. Glasgow and Edinburgh, obviously, in 2021 ended up, because of various reasons, playing quite a few fixtures. What was the aggregate score of all the games in 2021?
Between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Between Glasgow and Edinburgh. So the fixtures, Glasgow versus Edinburgh, the 1872 part 18 or whatever it was. What was the aggregate score in those fixtures?
When you say aggregate, are you meaning
as in
total?
All the scores added up?
That's what I thought. Yeah,
That's what aggregate means.
Yep.
I know that. I was just double checking. You're buying the coffee. You're buying the coffees tomorrow, by the way.
I'll buy your coffee. I'll buy your coffee.
I'm
I
having
think
one with
whoever
marshmallows
wins
and
here
everything in it.
should right. I'll come to you first, Cammy, because you don't care. So what have you got?
Glasgow 136, Edinburgh 142.
Okay, so you have Edinburgh coming out top. Okay, that's
How
cool.
many games do you think they played?
I have no idea. 12th?
Yeah, but we've pumped you a few times, Johnny.
Right, Johnny.
I'm gonna say Edinburgh 54, Glasgow 52.
54-52. Okay. Craig, to seal a glorious second place over Johnny.
Glasgow 96, Edinburgh 126.
Oh, he's gone for the sass answer rather than actually try to win. I like it.
He has. Do you know what the frustrating thing is, though? Right?
He's right, isn't he?
He's got one of them right. Now, he got Glasgow right. So, Glasgow, it was actually 90 points Glasgow scored, not 92, Craig. But, I think that's a very good effort from you.
Thank you.
Your sass answer on Edinburgh has cost you that point. Edinburgh actually only scored 75 points in 2021 versus Glasgow, which means Johnny gets a point. However, that does mean that Craig finished second. So the result of the quiz, Cammy is out in front with
Some.
800 points or something. Craig, you're second with, I'm counting 4, right? But and that's not including the -1 you should have got, but
Okay.
It is Christmas, so
For those that are just listening to the audio, I have got a very smug face on.
and Johnny, sadly, you have let down Team Dark Fruits. You are in second. Team Dark Fruits.
No, I'm definitely in third.
Yeah, that's maybe Team Dark Fruits coming through there.
Third
Yeah, third place. So you'd still get a bronze medal, Johnny. We're
Absolutely.
there
Gotta be proud
is
of my
medals
bronze.
for participation here. Cammy is not allowed to give you 0 in your player review, so we all get at least a point. So anyway, that is the quiz, guys. Thank you for participating. That's actually worked out quite nicely. We're fast approaching the hour. I'm swithering. If I'll give you the opportunity before we go to Patreon. Do you have one naughty and one nice just to throw out there for us, Johnny?
Yeah, actually, it's the festive season. I'm feeling spirit of goodwill. I'm going to say my nice is the majority of Exeter Chiefs fans.
Okay.
Because
John just threw a joke here. Did you see that?
No, I just think that like they've had quite a hard time, but when they had their meeting, 90% of them voted to change their branding, and every time it comes up on Twitter, there's always loads of their fans that say they just want to be proud of their club again and they want to get this branding changed to get it behind them. And they've had quite a rough year, and it's Christmas, and I think we should say there's severe problems with the people who are in charge at Exeter, but the majority of fans themselves are actually pretty sound. So seeing as how it's Christmas, Exeter fans, you're on my nice list. Well done for voting to change your branding.
That's lovely. Cammy, have you got someone to add to your nice list?
My nice list. It's been good to have club rugby back. That's what's been nice this year, and I know we missed it during the pandemic. And I'm not just saying that. I can't believe, I'm not just saying that because Berwick have got a couple of games in hand over Howe, and we've beaten Howe so far. We're probably going to, we'll see how National League 3 goes by the end of the season. But it's been really nice just to have it back, and to see all the stuff on social media where everyone kind of get involved in training, and just you can see how much it means to people being back in clubs, how much it means to the clubs to have players. And not just the players, but players' families, friends, just the community back in there, really kind of pulling together. And I hope this new period is just a blip. That we'll have a bit of a rough ride over the next month or so, and then we can all get back to the clubs as well. But it's been nice. I've liked seeing Clubland back on Twitter.
Cammy's just made his way onto both Johnny and Craig's naughty list. But Craig, who's on your nice list?
My nice list has to be, and I'm sorry to fall into my usual trope, but my nice list is Mike Blair. I am thoroughly impressed in what he has managed to do with Edinburgh in such a short time, and the brand of rugby that we seem to be playing has invigorated the Edinburgh faithful, and also it's brought a few more fans to the place. And it's really exciting times to be an Edinburgh fan. So, yeah, thank you, Mike Blair.
And I'm going to kind of echo Cammy's point and say my nice list was and is the Super Six this season, and just how fantastically entertaining it was during a period of time where there wasn't much rugby. It was brilliant to be. I really enjoyed the weekly tradition of try to catch a couple of games, but also just watching the highlights package frantically, normally just before the podcast, actually. In a desperate attempt to pick out some pick of the six, but no, it was brilliant to watch. So that's made its way onto my nice list. We'll do our naughty list, and I'm conscious that we might do another one for our Patreon as well that might involve a wee bit.
What happened to the singing? Is the singing going to be Patreon only then?
Well, yeah, I think we'll make that Patreon only. Cam.
Oh, there you go. So how much do people? Are you going to tell people about the Patreon, John, before we go?
I mean, I've popped it up at the bottom here, Cammy. I like to try and keep this sales piece.
I hear, John, that for as little as £3 a month, You
I
can
can't
get
believe you're going
access
to tell it off live on the podcast.
to.
I also hear that for £3 a month you can get 2 cans of dark fruit cider. But
Well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have access to exclusive bonus weekly content with the Scottish Rugby podcast for as little as £3 a month, or would you rather drink some pish?
This sounds quite good, actually.
It's a good debate to have, and yes, the banner has been going across the bottom of the podcast. If you are listening on audio, you will, of course, have the opportunity to come and join our Patreon page, where, as Cammy rightly says, for £3 a month, you can get yourself some extra content. For £5 a month, you can get your name read out on the podcast. Which
Can we just say, for that case, can we say hello to the Rugby Mona, who is our most recent £5 subscriber? So hello to the Rugby Mona.
Well done.
Hello, Rugby Mona.
You're more than welcome into the Doogie Donny Lounge. You get to hear us singing in the Patreon podcast.
Can I put an extra nice in for at all, John, before you go into night?
If you must, yeah.
I'll keep it quick, but it's just what I would say is being. You know I'm fed up of talking about him. But what I would like to say is, apart from Johnny McGinty, me being the new boy with the Scottish Rugby podcast, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that's involved, including all of the people who listen and all the patrons. They've been incredibly welcoming. And I just wanted to say thank you. And that's about it, really. Thank you.
That's good. That's nice, Craig. You do know that they don't have the option of paying you directly, though.
Oh, come on. I thought they picked their favourite and then paid.
He just wants them to join his cult.
This isn't the Hunger Games, mate. This isn't how this works.
I don't say thank you to them when they join my cult. It's a different thing altogether, Johnny.
That's it. Craig's household that he's isolating with members of his family.
There's 212
Anyone in the
of them.
compound is family.
That's it. The regulations have a loophole in them, and Craig's worked out that if he just gets married to everyone in the Edinburgh crew, he can have 5,000 at the game at the weekend.
Wow, and we're resplendent in our red cords.
Right, naughty list. I've made onto the naughty list for not mentioning the Patreon. There you go. You can have that one for free. Johnny, who's on your naughty list?
I'm going to go back to the English Premiership for my naughty list, I'm afraid. First things first, Love Actually is a terrible film.
Fact.
Any idea of making a spoof of it is a terrible idea to begin with. London Irish putting that human pond scum as the centre character of their crappy Love Actually spoof is an absolutely rotten idea.
Ooh.
And just like it's had my piss on a full rolling boil for the last 24 hours. How they could have thought anything about that was a good idea. How they like, oh no, I'm just
but Johnny, I mean, yes, it's awful, but they were stupid enough, right, to make a video with a guy who's been, who's up in court on sexual offence charges, and put him on a video where anybody could very easily edit the white bits of paper that the other guy in the video was holding.
Yeah, that should be
those
top
white
of the
bits
nice
of
list.
paper with legally unchallengeable things about Paddy Jackson.
Steph from Rock and Rolls,
Oh.
his one yesterday was, and he's a Photoshop master, but that was possibly the best thing I've ever seen him do. I thought it was incredible. But just everything about that has made me so angry.
And it's there was I can't remember who it is, but it kind of popped up in a group chat Johnny and I are in. Was obviously this went to court, and what I loved about this, but the criminal the explanation of the difference between the criminal standard of proof and the civil standard of proof. I think it was Steph who put the guy who was the other player. I can't remember who was the other London.
I can't remember who it was. Yeah.
So somebody holding a bit of paper
told
doing the
the
Love
same.
Actually spoof, and Paddy Jackson's opening the door, and I think Steph had edited so it just said "I believe her" on the bit of paper.
Yeah.
And somebody replied and said, "Look, this guy's been before court and he's not been convicted." And somebody replies and says, "Well, that's beyond all reasonable doubt. The CPS could walk into my house and but they couldn't prove I've just eaten a whole pizza, even though I've eaten a whole pizza."
Just because they can't prove I didn't eat it doesn't mean I didn't eat it. And I was like,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
to be clear, the other person concerned was Stuart Olding, just to make sure that we are very.
Oh yeah, but
Was it-
he's not the one
Was
that's
it
in the video.
genuinely wasn't Stuart Olding?
No, not in the video.
Not in the video.
He was
No,
the other
no,
person
that'd
that
be a
was-
step
the video, no.
That's a
The
step
person,
too far,
the
God.
person involved in the legal proceedings.
I'm not entirely sure. And
Yeah.
this is the other thing, right? You look at the context of Love Actually and that scene in Love Actually, and I'm aware this is probably Patreon content anyway, right? The entire that scene is about a man coercing a very young woman into, it's just horrible. The whole everything about Love Actually is horrible.
It's top to bottom a really, really, really terrible idea. That whole thing, everything they've done with Paddy Jackson the last year has been terrible. That thing was especially terrible. Just like, because, well, I don't know. They're a morally repugnant organization as far as I'm concerned, basically.
They've shown we've had our chats about this on the pod, and they've shown their colours regarding all this. So,
Do you know the other thing that this occurred to me yesterday? Right, it's not even good business.
no,
I can understand that everyone deserves a second chance law, right? That's fair. Maybe he does deserve a second chance. People haven't queued up to give Paddy Jackson a job, so you could give him a second chance on 50 grand a year and not make him part of your leadership group and pay him £500,000 and use him in adverts.
Could make him,
That would be better use of your money.
you
and
could make
less
him
of
part.
blowback.
You can make him part of your leadership group, but you don't have to crow about it as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just like everything about it stinks. I hate it.
Craig,
And they added Love Actually into it as well.
Love Actually is just dreadful, and we need to.
Oh, how dare you!
It's a terrible.
Oh, next
film.
thing you'll be saying
Every
Notting,
single
Notting
one of
Hill's
the-
rubbish.
Oh god, then we started on we'll discuss Richard Curtis films and how awful they are in the Patreon. That's Patreon content now.
That needs swearing. Craig, you're naughty.
My naughty is the marketing department of the Exeter Chiefs. And also the people who employed them, because they need an absolute slap in the puss. Because as far as I'm concerned, anybody who goes, our current mascot is creating a lot of problems, so we're going to get rid of them. What are we going to do about this? Because this is obviously a sensitive nature. What are we going to do? Hey, listen, why don't we do Tom or Hawk? Great idea. That's it. Let's go for it. What on earth do those people get paid for?
It's
a sweary rant, so I'm not going to do it right now. But seriously, anyone that
But
thinks
for just £3 a month.
for £3 to £5 a month, you can hear me swear about Exeter Chiefs and their marketing department, and then to turn and go, actually, you know what's a really good idea? We're going to crow about our new sponsor on the front of our shirts. Oh yeah, who's our new sponsor? Ploughed Field. Awesome. Just these people who I know who the marketing manager is, because it's one of the family. But seriously, you're being paid to do what? You should be the ones that should be taking the checkbook and pen and the microphone away from your father. That's it's just ridiculous. So that's my naughty list.
It's not a plough. Let's be clear though, Craig. It is not a ploughed
Sorry.
field. It is the abstract concept of a business park.
That's right.
which, I mean, who doesn't want to be sponsored by a thing that might become a business park?
It's
I'm
an
all in.
area that has the potential, if it was cultivated properly in everyone's mind, to produce some sort of food-based product from manipulating the earth that it is surrounding it.
Yeah, doesn't even have outline planning permission.
Do you just reckon, on the subject of sponsorship, do you reckon if we mention Strongbow Dark Fruits enough that they'll pick up on it and we could get a wee sponsorship deal?
They
with
can
them?
try, John.
Because they'll probably
They can
listen
try,
to what
right?
we
'Cause they'll-
actually said about
No,
it.
and then they'll email me, right? The thing is, though, to get in touch with the podcast at scottishrugbyblog.co.uk, they'll have to email me, right? And then they'll be like, do you want to be sponsored by Strongbow Dark Fruits? And I'll be like, do I want to be
No.
sponsored by a Tramps drink? And they'll be like, we'll pass. That's how that conversation's going to go, right?
I think we should try that conversation anyway.
or $1 million. $1 million.
Cammy,
I wonder if Tony Rowe would sponsor us with some sort of
I'd be sponsored by
racially
Tony Rowe's
based.
Business Park.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Bring it on, Tony. We could advocate for your kid-owned business park all you want.
Maybe we could find out who owns Eastex Business Park and get sponsored by that.
Get free. I'll be sponsored for free meals in the Happy Eater.
Would there be like gang symbols and stuff? Would we have to would we have to address like
East
the
East Side? Am I doing that right?
Yeah.
I think East
West Side. East Side.
West
West
Side.
Side.
Yeah.
This is the most street this podcast has ever been.
Yeah,
I know. That's it. We don't.
Anyway, back to Exeter's cultural misappropriation.
Valid point, well made, Johnny. Cammy, naughty list before.
Naughty list. Razzie and referees. There was a point where it was funny, and then the joke wasn't funny anymore. I liked the Jacko Johan japes. It was fun. But then I think South Africa then took it too far. I think what then came out with the disciplinary action and the way that he interacted with the referees and the way he tried to intimidate and influence referees, the way he tried to have pressure on match officials to have the certain match officials selected and deselected. The fact they've got the physio on the pitch. It's just all of these things have been there in rugby before, right? And all that Razzie has done, I think, is pull back the curtain. And I don't think anybody needed to pull back the curtain because it was kind of working okay. I think playing around the boundaries, but the genie's out of the bottle now, and I don't know what's coming, and I don't know if it's going to make rugby better or not. I haven't decided yet. I think we'll see. There'll be no earpieces on the pitches. That's what's coming. Water boys aren't going to be allowed to have earpieces. You have to relay messages via a third party who'll be running up and down the stairs at Murrayfield. That's what we're going to get next. Passing bits of paper up and down. You're going to have nobody in the subs, no subs woman in the dead ball area. You're going to have no contact at all between referees and coaches before the match unless there's independent people present. And I can't decide. I think rugby is going to lose something. It's going to lose a little bit of heart in that, because if you see international rugby as a kind of an inflated version of club rugby, right? That's what's great about club rugby, because the referee comes, he gets treated well by the host club. They feed him, give him drink. He'll be well looked after. And I think that's part of the joy of rugby, and something certainly the grassroots referees would say that they would enjoy, is going around different clubs, meeting different people, refereeing different matches. We're not going to get. I think at national level you maybe still had that, but I don't think you're going to have it anymore. I think referees are going to be locked away in their box, and that's all because of Razzie, and it's a shame. I think a little bit. There'll be no more. We'll have no more kind of who's that? The English Wayne Barnes calling everyone, calling Hoggy, and
yeah. So some referees are great characters as well, and
yeah, but you can't be a character now. That's it. It's gone.
Yeah.
I think it's gone. You can't be a character anymore as a referee in rugby.
2021 was the year Razzie, Yako as well. Razzie done his best to ruin a bit of fun, but then that dancing Twitter page, the Razzie dancing Twitter page, which I've just discovered, magnificent.
I was sick in my mouth with that.
I don't enjoy it. Like, what I think that this is the whole thing, is it's Razzie playing the clown, right? And that was fun. And I say this as a man with a bell on his head, but right. But this whole idea of Razzie the clown, it was fun up to a point.
Yep.
But I think now all we know through the disciplinary thing, it's a bit like it's like watching Biff Tannen have fun.
Yeah.
Right? It's like watching your school bully enjoy himself. There's no fun in it, because you're like, that's the guy that's ruined everything. And him being drunk at a bar, dancing with his mates, or rapping Snows Informer or whatever it was he was rapping the other day, that's not fun. And it's all part of this kind of thing he's got of trying to make it like, oh, I'm fun, Razzie. I'm a bit of a laugh. I don't, nothing serious. It's all everyone's against me, and I'm the fun guy. It's rubbish. It's all rubbish. And if he hadn't done what he'd done, I'd find the Dancing Razzie stuff funny. But it just leaves a bit of taste in the mouth.
I think he wouldn't be doing it if he hadn't done what he'd done. That's like
Yeah.
this is his thing of being like, look at all this fun stuff I'm doing now that I'm banned from all rugby for 3 months. Like,
It's no difference.
He also put something up saying that I don't know who took this video, like you didn't know who took the other video as well. Yeah, complete arse.
It's no different to Lad Baby trying to kind of complain about the other guy trying to get the signal, the Christmas number one. It's like, I'm all righteous. I'm the righteous one. I'm the one kind of doing right here. I'm the fun guy. Don't like those guys. They're not fun.
Yeah.
On that note, we shall take a wee break. That was a beautiful rant, Cammy.
Oh, thank you.
That was really, really good. So
the shackles have been removed from.
They have, yes. They have unleashed the Cammy. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in for the first part. As Cammy rightly says, if you were to go and pay some money, you could see some more if that is something you were interested in. But for just now, we are going to disappear from free to air, and we're going to head off to our premium sports channel to go and entertain the rest of our guests. So it is good night from me. And good night from Cammy, Johnny, and Craig.
Good night, all.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
And someone turn these off because I'm useless.